this much writing, just a little bit about yourself, and see if they're interested. And then that's sort of my stepping stone. And then I follow up with if they don't respond, because I've got so many people who never, you can tell they've seen it, but they don't respond. And then it's a follow up with like, hey, I just, thought I'd reach out. But at this point, you can already see what they're posting about. So you can be commenting and liking their posts, because a lot of the time, especially on Instagram, if they have a private account, you can't follow them and see what they're doing until they accept you as a follower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cold calling, essentially, it's essentially just talking to someone who you've never met. You've got no idea. I've connected with someone in the Philippines, in Italy, and I think someone's German, because they joined the Facebook group, and I think they're from Germany or so.
It's amazing. Your last name.
Yeah. So basically, like, cold messaging, I would say that they have to have shown some kind of interest in you, somehow, like liked your stuff, even sending things like, hey, I've just noticed that you've seen my stories. Like you've seen that one before. Hey, Noelle. Things like that. I think, you know what? I think it's okay, as long as, like, I wouldn't do it all the time. Because sometimes, like, you just want to invite somebody. It's okay. And be like, hey, I thought maybe you'd be interested in you. Like, and the thing is, like, you should maybe have something in common with that person, right? So maybe they're a mom of young children. Maybe they're homeschooling. Maybe they're, a Catholic, right? Because those are all things that you have in common with them. And maybe they would be interested in a Lent prep group, or whatever group that you're leading in March, So, yeah. So, cold messaging, I would say, like, there needs to be some kind of common ground. You can't just be like, pick you, like, you should actually kind of know a little bit of something in common that you have in common. Okay. The next thing that was mentioned was the groups for March. So, so if you guys want to, even on the thread, just ask, like, who wants to lead a group with me or whatever. And I would really highly recommend, like, you need to start promoting that, like, already, because it's already coming up in, like, a little bit. And for those ones, you want them to order something, right? Like, you want to, and pick a group, like, what have you been successful with? What has been, like, I was thinking for myself personally, I feel like the best shape that I ever got in was when I did the 21-day fix extreme and I followed the countdown to competition plan. That was the best shape I ever got in. And that was, like, multiple years ago. That was before I had Maria. So I have 2 kids later. And so I'm kind of tempted to actually do that again and be like, hey, who wants to join me? I've done this program before and I got the best results that I've ever gotten with it, and that would be, like, one way, So, like, think for you guys who've done some programs already, that's one thing that you could say is, like, I've done this and I've gotten great results. Share your results that you've had in the past. And then lead a group, like a program specific group. Like, for years now, I've been doing multi-program. Like, when I first started, it was mostly 21-day fix. 21-day fix, 21-day fix, 21-day fix, everything. Now, it's like, because we have Beachbody On Demand, there's so many possibilities, right? And you want to provide something for your customers. So often I'll try and at least have one multi-program group every single month so that, those people have something to do too. So anyhow. Okay, so that was for March. Okay, Margaret, you were saying you weren't sure even who to reach out to. Well, this is something, a little bit of homework to do. Like, you have to think about who is your avatar, like, who is your ideal person. So even when you're posting, like, I remember my husband Ken has done a lot of, like, marketing research and stuff in the past too, and he said one thing that he learned is, like, you have to kind of have, like, your ideal person. You, like, write down their name, what do they look like, where are they from, what do they eat, what are their favorite stores, what do they watch on TV, what do they read, and everything about them. And then when you make your posts, with that person in mind. What would that person be interested in learning? What would that person want to know? And when you make your post, you think, okay, so-and-so would love this post. This would be inspiring to them. And that's who you kind of, I don't want to say market yourself to, but kind of, in a sense, you're speaking to that person, because that's who and typically that type of person is someone who's just like you. Really, to be honest. Like, people that are, like the same things as you do, right? Whether you're into knitting or whether you're into crocheting or cross-stitching or, drinking coffee or whatever it is, like, that's who you're writing to. Yes, go ahead, Noelle.
I guess my problem is I'm someone I'm a bit of a sports junkie and a fitness junkie, and I've always have been. So it's like trying to reach out to those sorts of people doesn't work because we're already into it.
Yeah. Well, even, okay, but what about like all the stuff that's behind you? All the things that you, like, I'm just thinking like all the books that you have behind you, all the games that you guys play or puzzles or whatever, like all your different interests. Those kinds of things. Like I find like, you know, I was doing a puzzle once, like this 2,000 piece puzzle. I got tons of traction on this post. People were so into puzzles. I was like, oh my goodness. There's like a puzzle community out there that I have not tapped into at all.
Maybe I should try puzzles because like I love puzzles.
Yes.
And but yeah, no, I find it's like stuff like that, and so it's like trying to reach out to people who are like, I think the mom level has been a big one for me.
Yes.
But,
so like reaching out to people on something other than fitness, right?
yeah.
You know, and then they're like, oh, this girl's into puzzles and she's getting into shape. I think I'm going to follow her because I know I'm similar to her, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, so that's your avatar. Carmen was talking about her cold market. So those are, your warm market is like your friends, your family. A lot of people start building their business with you know, people like that who want to support you in your business, who know you already. So I remember when I was kind of at that point where I had kind of, you know, saturated my cold market or my warm market, and I wasn't getting much response anymore. And I knew it was scary for me to like start reaching out to people that I didn't know. I was like, yeah, you know, like, what if, you know, and then you have all these fears. Like, what if there's some kind of crazy people out there? Like, I don't, you know, but you guys, I wouldn't have met any of you. Right.
At the same time, I learned, oh my goodness, thankfully I checked within 10 minutes, but some person did like a legit obscene comment on my post on 3 of them.
Really?
Yeah. No, like, oh my goodness. It was like legit, saw it thankfully within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was actually happy I checked my phone that day because, yeah, he literally just, some guy just obscene, like, obviously, but I had to go through and delete every comment.
Yeah.
And block the guy. And it was
And
like,
you know how, so you know how to block them and stuff like that.
oh yeah, like with this, but I couldn't believe it. Like it was literally obscene. So that's
yeah, you know, it's interesting. I feel like that was, would have a few things like that more in the earlier years. I feel like I don't really have much of that anymore. So anyhow.
That's where you do lots of hubby posts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, okay. So, time challenge. So Carmen was talking about having a struggle with time. I feel exactly the same. I was like, this week has been crazy, weekend, everything. I'm like, I have hardly any time to even like connect with you guys or to do a team call. I'm like continuously bumping it because I'm like, oh, I have time Friday afternoon. No, I don't actually have time Friday afternoon. It's like, I find I'm having a hard time really zoning in on my work time. And that's the thing. It's like, and the line came to my mind, am I treating this like a business or is this a hobby? You know, and if this is a business, you need to stick to your business hours. But if it's a hobby, then you kind of fit it in wherever it fits. You put in time, maybe it's not consistent, but that's something that you have to decide for yourself, like whether you want to see this build into something or whether you just want to see where it goes and you put in when you have time. That's totally up to you to decide. But if you want to see this become something, you need to have business hours and treat it like a business. So that's why, you know, I thought to myself multiple times, I'm like, I'm going to commit to these girls to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day because I feel like even today, it was like, I don't know what happened, but I accidentally slept in. Or like, you know, I think, oh, the baby woke up a few extra times, so I'm just going to sleep in a little bit longer this morning. Or, you know, I got to bed a little bit late, so I'm just going to sleep in a little bit this morning. So I come up with these excuses, but no, it's like, if I want to make this into into a business, a thriving business, and again, I feel like we need to check and see what does the Lord want us to do? Because if this isn't God's plan, then it's not God's plan. But if it is, we need to be faithful to what He's calling us to, and we need to make sure that we are disciplined with our time, right? So anyhow, those are my little thoughts about time challenge. Yeah. Okay. What else do you guys want to say? Because they're going to cut us off here right away.
I'm gonna have to actually run. So
okay. Okay, well, we didn't even talk about the group or anything like that.
I'll message in. Sorry, as May knows.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys,
when you want to get something organized, it happens. So, yeah. I'll message into the group to get that in. But I've got company actually, so I'm gonna run.
Well, thank you for taking the time, Noelle. God bless you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. And Marguerite, and oh, hey, where did Carmen go?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, there you are. Did you were getting ready for bed, weren't you?
Yeah, actually I went for the I went for the viewing of one of our friends. So I just got back. So it was been hard.
Like a
Yeah.
funeral? A funeral?
Yeah. No, the funeral mass is tomorrow morning, but today was a visitation. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry to hear
so-
that. That's sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a funeral last week too. So, okay. Any last questions before we wrap up? No?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you ladies for what you're doing and putting yourselves out there and being like a contact of joy for people. Because in this world, there's a lot of negativity and a lot of pessimism, people who are just have no hope. So thank you for doing that, because that's what you're doing, like we're spreading God's grace everywhere, however we can, whether it's within our homes or whether it's online, right? So thank you for that. It really does mean a lot, not just to me, but to the greater community. So anyhow, too bad Sasha wasn't here. I hit record partway through. It won't be a full thing for her, but okay. God bless you guys. Thanks, Mark.
God bless. Good night.
Bye-bye.